Hello, welcome back to Fatish to Fitish. Today I'm going to talk about running. So running for fatish people / non-runners. So why do I run? I run because for me, in my day-to-day life, I can't be bothered doing like hours of cardio. It needs to be done. It helps with for me it helps with fat loss, things like that. It helps clear my head sometimes as well, but I don't have hours and hours a day to just go on long walks in the countryside, all that kind of crap. So figured I can burn the same amount of calories in half hour with a quick run around the block. Issues that I have, right, as per the title of the YouTube channel, I'm a fattish guy. I'm still about 110 kilo, so it's a lot to be kind of shifting around over a long distance at like a fairish pace. So the issues I have, I pick up quite a few impact related injuries, just quite a lot of cramping, like shin splints, cramping calves, sore lower back, things like that. I've also, through no fault of my own, I'm going to use a phrase coined by another person I've seen online, but become a Garmin wanker. You just become obsessed with all the bollocks, man. Like all these challenges, like let's get out and do a 5k, let's go out and do a 10k, let's see what VO2 max. I don't even know what VO2 max is. I had a quick Google, and it's apparently the amount of oxygen your body can absorb per volume of something or other, but basically it gives you a little number. I'm just trying to make that bigger. A little graph on Garmin says that I'm like nearly in the superior bit. I want to be in the superior bit, so that's what I'm just smashing at. That's kind of like the issue here. You just kind of become obsessed with it, and it's a bit consuming. That in the past 3 days I've ran 24 kilometers. My body's an absolute bit, but I'm still just there thinking, want to go again, want to get that number, want to get that number, want to get that number. You just get obsessed with shite. Other than that, there are some benefits, so let's get into them. So, let's reduce risk of death by a heart attack or stroke. Reduce risk of cardiovascular problems. Lowers your cancer risk. I don't know how, but apparently Google says it does, so yeah. Burns a lot of calories in a short period of time. Something I touched on in the intro, but yeah. In half hour run, I can burn, about 500 calories to do the equivalent. I'd be walking for an hour. Bang for buck, it's actually pretty decent. The most important of all, if you ever challenge your mates to a race, and whether they agree or not, probably beat them. Sick. Right, so with all positives comes the other side of the coin, so let's run through the negatives. It's high impact, so if you're fattish or new to the game or something along them lines, you're probably going to get aches and pains in place you've never had them before. Running aggravates them, so it's whether you just want to embrace the suck and go through it or be a little bitch. It's boring as fuck. Jesus Christ. No words to explain it, that's how fucking dull it is. I'd rather watch paint dry, I'd rather watch somebody watching paint dry than run on a treadmill, let alone running outside. At least outside you can kind of play games like dodge the bus and things like that. It can cause muscular imbalances, so if you've got injuries, you might end up subconsciously running with a bias to one side of you. Yeah, like I mentioned in the intro, it's obsessive as fuck, man. You just get obsessed trying to shave time. Like, there's no such thing as just like a steady jog anymore. I tried it the other day, thought, right, I'm just going to cover the distance, just going to get a few miles in, but nah. 4k into a 5k, I look at my watch, think, oh shit, I'm on for a good time here. Boom, start sprinting, ruin my day. As mentioned earlier, if you got your headphones on, you're in a world of your own, you're on a high risk of getting high-fived by a bus, but yeah, use your eyes, mate. Okay, so getting past the grumpy bastard who's been filming this video throughout, a few suggestions on how to make running better. Suggestion number 1, don't do it. Get yourself a driving license, drive everywhere. That's why we invented cars. Listen to something. Me, a friend of mine actually recommended this a few days ago. It's an absolute game changer for my running game anyway. Don't listen to music. If you listen to music, you get dragged into the pace of the music. You spend half your time finding around trying to find that song you love, all that shite. A podcast is way superior in my experience to music. You don't get dragged into a beat. Just listen to people chat shit for an hour and have a little giggle while you're out on your jog. Sad. Vary the route up. I use a website called On The Go Map, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to link that in the description, but basically you can just plot your route. It's like Google Maps, but for runners and cyclists and people who like doing weird outdoorsy fitnessy shit. For me, another way to make the run more fun or nicer is to find like a more countryside orientated route. I mean, sometimes you got to know got no choice but to run around the block in like a kind of city slash townscape kind of area. But if you have the time and you have the availability, get into the countryside. Moving on from podcasts, if you're not into podcasts, you can't be awesome music, you don't like having headphones on your head. I know a lot of people don't while they're running. Just find a mate who likes running in the day just as much as you do, run with them. Okay, so you've made it through the positives, the negatives, how to make running better side of things. You're still watching, you're still thinking, yeah, Alex, mate, I want to run my day just as much as you do, let's crack on with it. You're naturally going to become obsessed with your time and your performance, so a few ways to improve that when you get going are, so be consistent. Being consistent builds your aerobic capacity. Naturally, that's going to improve your run time. Make sure you're actually covering distance a few times before you try and set a PB or at depth like that. Like, it's one thing to get a benchmark to kind of test against, so that's fair enough. A big thing for me is I focus on my breathing quite a lot. If you can't breathe, you can't like get oxygen to where you need it efficiently, and you're just going to be working harder. Controlling your breathing controls your heart rate and just makes you more efficient as a runner. Just as much as breathing and actually doing the business as such, you need to recover. So make sure you do, like, I like to incorporate about probably a kilometer, maybe half a kilometer warm down. So just like slow jog, walk, just to kind of bring my body gradually down, a bit of stretching, maybe a bit of yoga. I started doing Epsom salt baths, seen them on YouTube. And another way to improve your aerobic capacity, and the final way I'd probably say to improve your time, is along with the consistency, like actually covering the distance, maybe introduce a little bit of interval training, so a bit of a fartlek style workout, or just interval sprints, or just running up and down a hill dead fast. All these things just improve your aerobic capacity and will carry over into your running performance as a whole. Right, okay, so thanks for watching. If you like me just having a rant about running, why it's shit, why it's good, yeah, like, subscribe.